Okay, we are here with actor Harris Milgrim,
Hello.
who is currently starring off-Broadway at the Signature Theater.
Yes,
Why
indeed.
don't you tell us a little bit about the show that you're in, and we'll go from there.
Okay, well, it's Piece of My Heart, and it's about Burt Burns, who wrote the song like Piece of My Heart and Twist and Shout and Hang On Sloopy and Cry Baby and tons of other music that nobody knows that he wrote because, what you find out in the show, someone didn't want anyone to know that he wrote them. So it's sort of the story about his life and writing that music and his death, which you know early on, and then the story of his daughter and his kids sort of rediscovering their father, whom they didn't really know, and dealing with the sale of his song catalog and that kind of thing.
Why don't we go back to the beginning? Where did and when did you first decide you wanted to pursue this professionally?
It's a funny story. I had a friend in elementary school who was asked to do theater by his therapist because they thought that that would help the kid kind of deal with his thing. So I went to go see a show of his, and the first 5 minutes, it was an all children's theater. In the first 5 minutes, like kids walking through the house, I was like, this is what I want to do. So I auditioned for the next show, and I was terrible at my audition, and I was put in like the little kid show, and just started doing it there, and kind of did every show and did everything I could, and stage managing things and painting sets and acting and learning, and just was there for a really long time.
And what was your first quote-unquote big break?
My
Whether it was a
first
national tour or whether it was here in New York.
big break, that would be the first national tour of West Side Story,
Okay.
where I played Snowboy and I understudied Tony. And I had moved to New York on a Sunday and saw my friend in Follies on Broadway. And then the Monday, the next day, right there, I auditioned for West Side Story and was called back on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, had booked it.
Wow.
So it was kind of
That's kind of
miraculous
weird, yeah.
and wonderful and lucky and great. Yeah. And then I was on that for a year, and that was sort of great experience.
I saw you were Mark in Rent as well. What was that
Yeah, at
experience
Florida
like?
State. That was a great experience, actually. It was a character that I connected with deeply, and Rent is a show that I kind of knew, but not quite. I remember listening to the soundtrack and hearing Act 2 and realizing I didn't know any music from Act 2. I just, heard the hits, which are mostly in Act 1, and went, oh wow, there's so much to this show I don't know. So it
Yeah.
was really fun to sort of find this character that I closely related to, but was also different enough that I could, create a character of this kind of normal guy.
Right. And where did you go on from there?
From there, that was in college, so right after
So
that
after that was when you
West Side
moved
Story,
here, yeah. What was it like touring around the country?
Touring, it's funny. I'm in the 100 Years Equity book as the little touring blurb,
Okay.
and they asked me to do that maybe 3 months into tour, and so it's all bright-eyed and wonderful, and I say touring's wonderful and I love it, and touring's great, but it's really difficult.
Yeah.
And if you'd asked me probably 2 weeks after I gave that interview, I would have had many different answers to that.
You would not have been in the book.
I wouldn't exactly. But let's find someone else who sounds positive. No, touring's wonderful and I love it, but it's hard. It's extremely difficult. And on a show like West Side, where it's so emotionally driven and there's so much weight to it, and also physically demanding, and an 8-show week and traveling all the time, it's hard.
Crazy.
Touring's hard.
So obviously you're much happier here, home based in
Absolutely,
New York.
yeah. I after tour, I worked out of town for the next year. I really haven't really lived here. I'm fairly new. I worked out of town doing some great regional work, and I worked in a new show at the Fifth Avenue, Secondhand Lions. And after that, I just decided I want to be here because this is where it's at, And so I sort of stuck to my guns and talked to my agents and was turning down just auditions, for things out of town that were great, but not what I wanted to do, which was tough.
Yeah.
But
Have you gone in for any episodic work with the shows that film here in New York?
no.
No?
No, I haven't. I've been in for one film thing. That's something I'd really like to get into more, but I am focusing more on the theater aspect because that's what I love to do. And it's tricky to kind of find the balance of everything because there's so much to do to find your niche and all of it.
And now you also sing, you do concerts and stuff for benefits.
No,
You
I
don't
don't.
do that? Why
I
don't
wish
you?
I did.
You're supposed to.
I know.
What kind of Broadway person are you?
I know. Well, if I knew how the hell to get into that kind of thing, I'd be all about it because I love doing that stuff, and I have done
Yeah.
concerts, but not anything here. absolutely. I don't know how you get into that. Find
Ask
out.
one of your
Let
co-stars
me
here.
know.
They've done
They
it
have,
before.
yeah, they certainly have.
And so, piece of my heart. I know you're understudying the lead.
Yes, indeed.
Have you gotten a chance to go on yet?
No, not at all.
Should I crowbar Zach on the way out?
No, Zach's so nice.
All
You
right.
could push him down the stairs, but don't crowbar.
Don't crowbar him?
No, Zach's great. No, I haven't gone on yet. We're still in previews, and
Right.
we're in the middle of our third week of previews, and I haven't even had an understudy rehearsal yet. So, it's just kind of doing all the work on my own and
So,
hoping that, God forbid, he goes out now before I get a rehearsal, that I'll know this stuff. And
so it's a little premature to hurt him on purpose, then.
I mean,
Will you let me know when is a good time, and I'll stand
Sure.
outside the stage door.
yeah, maybe in 2
downstairs.
days when I feel like I really know all the lines, because they're still changing. So
Yeah.
look out, Zach.
He gave me a lot of money, Zach, to do this. He's getting on one way or another. So, what advice would you give to people who are just starting out in the business? I know you started in college, you went touring
Yeah.
first. Would you say maybe bite the bullet and come to New York first? Or do you feel that the way you did it was the right way to go?
This is my advice to everybody starting or even doing it. It's something that I've had to really not struggle with, but kind of, take the reins on is following your gut about things.
Mhm.
Because growing up there were certain things that I did or didn't do because I thought that they were what I should or shouldn't do, and didn't listen to my gut. And my gut always proved me wrong. And so I sort of, in my professional career, have taken the risk of following my gut, and it's never strayed me wrong, and I've only had great things come out of it, as terrifying and as frightening as it may be to say no to something or
Mhm.
say yes to something else that you're not quite certain of. Just not let your head get in the way of things and really just listen to your heart.
What is a dream role that you would like to play?
Okay.
If you haven't already done
This
it.
is my thing about dream roles. I
No.
feel like a dream role is something that you could play and would love to play, but wouldn't be cast in, just basically type-wise.
Uh-huh.
So dream role would be Seymour in Little Shop, because I love that role, but I'm tall and not, I'm nerdy, but I'm not what people conventionally
Yeah.
think of as Seymour nerdy.
Right.
Or the engineer in Miss Saigon. Oh, I would love to play him because he's so dark and he's not that dark and twisted, but he's dark and twisted enough and funny and just hurt and broken. I love weird hurt broken characters like that. Yeah.
Maybe you're selling yourself short. Maybe you can do it. Right after we club Zach, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll make you dark.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck when the show opens. Great reviews, hopefully, to come. And I thank you so much for doing the interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.